Moto G60s review combines 50W fast charging with great battery life and a 120Hz display. The Moto G60s headlining 50W fast charging outshines most handsets at this price point, but the performance and camera sacrifices aren't worth it for many people. It's a good budget phone, but not a great one. Since its acquisition by Lenovo in 2014, the Motorola brand has been releasing new phones at an alarming rate. In 2021 alone, we've seen a total of 35 Moto handsets announced, and there could be even more before the year is out. That's despite Motorola focusing almost exclusively on more affordable devices. It's easy for individual releases to get lost in the sea of similarly priced Moto phones. That's before you even consider other companies. One device seeking to avoid this fate is the Moto G60s. At €219.99 to €249.99, it's towards the more expensive end of Motorola's 2021 lineup but remains in contention for our budget phone chart. The headlining feature is 50W fast wired charging, something you don't often get at this price point, but is there enough else here to make it worth your money? Here's my full review. As you might expect, the design of the Moto G60s is nothing we haven't seen before. The glass display combines with a plastic back and frame, both to cut costs and keep the device lighter. At 212G, it's relatively hefty, but I still found it comfortable enough to use on a daily basis. The textured back helps a lot with this, adding plenty of grip and making it easy to use case-free. This design choice gives away the fact it's a budget handset, but I'm happy practicality was prioritized over aesthetics. I found the iced mint finish I tested to be a bit underwhelming, but it's also available in a more dynamic-looking ink blue. Predictably, the back of the phone is where you'll find the rear camera module. It houses 3 lenses and impressively sits almost flush with the rear of the G60s. More on how they perform later. The Motorola logo doubles as a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner in its classic position, about a quarter of the way down the center of the device. Many phones have shifted to in-display sensors these days, but the physical one here is extremely fast and reliable. On the right side you'll find the regular power button and volume rocker, although these have been shifted down slightly to make way for a dedicated Google Assistant button. This led to many accidental triggers in the first few days of usage, proving extremely frustrating. What's more, it can't be remapped to open something you might find more useful. However, you do still get a 3.5mm headphone jack on the top of the phone. Many people still prefer wired audio, so it's nice to have the option here. Let's talk about the main event. The display on the Moto G60s is a 6.8-inch LCD panel with a resolution of 1080x2460. It offers vibrant colors and plenty of detail. I certainly didn't notice the difference between this and a 1440p panel. OLED is another thing that would have been nice to have, but its absence here doesn't affect the experience too much and is understandable at this price. The Moto G60s is powered by MediaTek's 12nm Helio G95 chipset. It's a popular choice for budget phones, considered roughly comparable to Qualcomm's Snapdragon 720G. Neither supports 5G networks, but that's not yet a deal breaker at this price point. It has a Mali G76 GPU and works alongside 4GB of RAM on the model I tested. Performance isn't bad per SE, but there are enough stutters and hesitations to make everyday use frustrating. Several pre-installed Google apps also seem prone to freeze or crash. There's no guarantee that more RAM will solve these issues, but it should help. Basic everyday performance is still fine across web browsing, social media, and watching YouTube videos, especially at 120Hz. It just doesn't feel like something you can rely on. Cameras are always a big talking point on modern smartphones, even if they're lower down the priority list at this price point. That rear module I mentioned earlier houses 4 lenses, with a 64MP main joined by 8MP ultra-wide, 5MP macro, and 2MP depth. Battery life is a key strength, for the Moto G60s. The phone has a 5000 mAh capacity, although that's needed to power the large, high refresh rate display. Still, you can comfortably get a full day's moderate usage from a single charge. This can even be extended to 2 days in some cases. That's reflected in Mark's battery benchmark, designed to be reflective of real-world usage. With brightness set to 200 nits, I recorded 11 hours and 35 minutes. That's an above-average score, even if it won't be winning any awards. However, an area where the Moto G60s really excels is charging, with a 50W adapter included in the box. From empty, I got to 43% in 15 minutes and 73% in half an hour. For most people, that means a full charge in the time it takes to get ready in the morning. There's really no need to charge the phone overnight. The Moto G60s runs Android 11 out of the box. There's no word on when it might get the update to Android 12, despite Google's latest OS having been released a couple of months ago. Motorola phones usually get 2 years of OS updates, so we can expect it to get Android 13 but nothing past that. That's also when security updates usually end. I really wish Motorola would follow other phone companies in committing to longer software support. Globally, Motorola sells models of the Moto G60s 4GB and 6GB of RAM. However, only the former is available in the UK, at a price of £219.99. It's currently out of stock if you go direct, but still available via Amazon. It's not technically being sold in North America, but you can still buy it for $284 from Amazon US. That makes it more expensive than most handsets in the Moto G range, but still comfortably within budget phone territory. However, competition is fierce at this price point. The Poco X3 Pro, Redmi Note 10 Pro, and Redmi Note 9T are all priced similarly. If you'd rather avoid Xiaomi handsets, the Realme 8 is another great option. As you can see, there are plenty of excellent alternatives that deliver better value for money. You probably won't feel shortchanged buying the Moto G60s, but not like you've got a bargain, either.